Okay. Okay. Right. I... I need to check the... I need to check the computer logs real quick in one of the research terminals. I think I remember seeing something interesting in there. I should probably also get lights on in here at some point, but that'll be for another time. Right, this is one of the bedrooms. Here we are. Let me see real quick. Let me see. There we go. That's odd. There's a couple of strange logs that I am seeing in there. A couple interesting ones in particular being the original logs of the colony ship that was sent to this planet. And more importantly, its manifest of cargo. Among the cargo was a couple of bits and pieces that were, amusingly enough, not recovered by the crew before they built this facility. That is very interesting indeed. Very wasteful of the DDC, not something I would expect of them, but the analysis is conclusive. They did in fact do that. They did in fact leave some bits of salvage left over from the mission when the drop from the colony ship to the planet was not entirely successful. As such, while it's probably rusted to hell and maybe missing a couple parts, the container that holds this particular cargo that I am interested in should still be there. Its last known position is vaguely recorded in the logs. It's said that some people went out to actually salvage it, but decided against it when they couldn't get the door open from a lack of power. That sounds like they just didn't take a grinder to it and were too lazy, but never mind that. So, with that in mind, I can probably do something about that. However, in the meantime, while I ponder how to do that exactly, I need to test something, and that would be a new weapon. Or, well, a new series of weapons. I already have an idea of what I need to do. I have an idea of the calibers that I need to make. 14mm and 50mm, 122mm and 230mm cannons is what I am aiming for. But, for the moment I'm just focusing on the 14 and 50mm emplacements, since that's about as much as what I can get ammunition for, and seems like a good idea to make. So, this might take a bit to actually prototype. 2 hours later. And there we go. Quick little modification to this little thing here, and I was able to make a prototype for mounting the two weapons. It's not really worth it, but you know, we can make do. Now I should probably set up some sort of target for testing, but for the moment I'm just going to test that the mechanism actually works as it should. So let's get some ammunition. and make sure that the guns fire. Assuming they work, I should be able to make a turret mechanism for them. The important part is making the firing mechanism with the components that I have, which is not ideal. But first, weapons testing. Now, this one gets the 14mm, and this one gets the 50mm. And using this little control panel on the side, and the remote control I built into it. There we go. It's not an ideal turret, it doesn't have any pitch, but it doesn't need to for the purposes of this testing. It is just for testing the weapon's firing. .14mm seems to be working fine. Takes a while to burn through a single produced ammo, which is good. Ammo efficiency is kind of important for this sort of weapon. Testing is good. Testing is really good. No real errors in the firing mechanisms that I can detect. Seems like at least these weapons will be relatively reliable. Probably due to the design having to be as simplified as possible with the limited moving parts. The weapons have no real recoil dampening systems, unlike some other weapons, but they do the trick. They will do the trick indeed. Now, to find that lost cargo. Of course, the contents of the cargo container are somewhat debated in the logs that I have access to. They don't actually know what's in there, but given the log of equipment that was in there, in the ship that was used to ferry the materials to build this base, I suspect I know what is in there. This base was lacking in its complement of vehicles for quite some time. As such, I suspect that is what I am looking for. In addition, it never received any of the proper aircraft that it was supposed to. Another hint as to that what it was supposed to be is some sort of fixed-wing aircraft. Now, we know what happened to my last drone. That went somewhat poorly, all things considered. However, we honestly need to do two things. We need to prepare some sort of anti-air defense, probably the 14mm probably a couple of 14mm turrets once I can get the prototyping done on that. Then after that, it'll be attempting to make contact with the unknown. Yeah, the unknown living person that was at that base I sabotaged. Granted, I didn't exactly make the best opinion of myself by doing that, but I think I know something that will smooth things over somewhat. I believe container 20... No, not 20, there's not that many. One of the containers on board the cargo ship, that was filled with credits. Credits that a particularly a particularly unscrupulous party would accept in return for not blowing my base to bits again, and ceasing any and all further hostile actions against me. That is the ideal. That is the ideal solution. Diplomacy, if we can. However, I don't have their comm codes. I cannot communicate with them. I could maybe try, but they're encrypted. Encrypted beyond what I can actually decrypt anymore. Long-range communications, yes, but I can't access their local area network, which is not ideal. The equipment here is, again, badly damaged and not in the best repair, so I'm gonna have to make contact in a more physical manner once again, which is why I need the aircraft. I can't be left defenseless again. And sticking a gun turret onto this rover is not a good option. Building my own dedicated armored vehicle is not something not something I feel I have the resources to waste. Making a drone, again, not what I want. I need to see them in person. So, this aircraft, which is designed to carry 2 people, but that's not really important to me right now, that is what we need. That is what I desperately need. As such, well, I'm gonna have to try and go for it at some point. Since, well, it's one of my only chances to actually get what I need to do. So, we are gonna make sure we are fully charged up and head out momentarily. If we're lucky, we can maybe see something from here. Doesn't look like it though. Hello? What's that down there? I think we found it. Yeah, that's definitely something. Now just to find a safe way down. Probably that way. Granted, we are going to have to walk back here to recover this vehicle as well, but yeah, that's definitely it. Looks surprisingly intact. We could probably salvage it for a fair bit of supplies, but for the time being, let's crack it open and see what's inside. It is here. It very much is here. Let's see if I can sneak under the wing. Nope, doesn't look like it. Can I sneak around this side? Nope. Well, they did design this container pretty well. Everything just fits. Let's get this door open.
Inventory full.
Well, that's going to be annoying. Let's see. Yeah, four small reactors powering this thing. Interesting. Very interesting. Engine looks also in surprisingly good nick. Let's check. Yeah, let's check the rear as well. Yeah, all components seem to be in place. I can definitely use this for something. And I'm pretty sure I know what I'm gonna make that something. Interesting how they have conveyors set up in the wings. Maybe it was originally designed for other missions, but was converted into this form. Who knows? No matter. We have ourselves an aircraft. And it's got fuel. And it seems to be set up at least reasonably well for, How does it already have 14mm ammunition in it? That's strange. Huh. Maybe that 14mm gun is not quite as new as I would like. No matter. It should be fine. Now the question remains, to take this back to base, or to take the rover. Actually, let's check something real quick. There we go. That did it. Okay, that's weird. Decided it would roll randomly. Guess I kind of have to expect that with a piece of machinery that's been in a storage container left out to the elements for so long. Gonna make landing interesting is all. If I do not have effective roll control. Okay. Seems to be causing issues with speed. Ah, it's probably that rear wheel. There we go. I could probably store it inside the actual base. If I was able to get to the top. Open. That is inconvenient. Extremely inconvenient, in fact. No matter. We'll fix that momentarily. For now, we gotta get our rover back. Which is gonna be a really, really long run. Not sure why I'm doing this, just, it feels right. You know? Sometimes you just gotta do things because it feels right, and painting this section white and black feels right to me. Yeah, I think I'm ready to engage. I don't know how I feel about this. This is... I don't want to use this. That's what I'm getting at. I really don't want to use this. But if I have to, I have to, and, well, it's better to have something to engage with than not, but if I can, I'd like to try and talk to the rogue pilot. See what I can get out of them. Ideally here. Ideally, I'd be able to talk to them, basically offer them the contents of that crate that I mentioned, and say, look, have this, leave me alone. That's what I want. That's how I want this to go down. Chances of it actually going like that are pretty much nil, I'll be honest. Hence why this aircraft is here. There we go. I think that will do. That should be more than enough to, yeah. That should be more than enough to suit my needs.